Hey guys, as usual, please like and subscribe if you want to hear my other takes on The Mandalorian's first 2 seasons. I've got lots of videos on those on my channel, and let's get into this. So, a very predictable trailer. We knew the series would shift from protecting the child. He's still going to protect the child, but it'll come into this dispute, I guess, between Mando and Bo-Katan over the Darksaber. So we get a lot of that. I'll talk a bit about that in a minute here. A lot of shots of her in the old throne, and they show shots of Mandalore. Again, visually really good. Get some shots of Grogu looking in wonder all over the trailer, like a whole bunch of times. We get Babu Freak in this, I guess, the one beloved guy that came out of the Rise of Skywalker. So they had very little to nothing come out of the Rise of Skywalker, but everybody seemed to like that little guy, so he's in this. I guess at some point they go to Kijimi, and of course, like I said, great visuals. Carl Weathers' character has come into some high-profile position. I can see that based on his costume, so he's obviously going to be sort of a more high-profile guy. This isn't going to be a very long video. I do have a couple points here, though, and I have a question, and this relates to the whole Bo-Katan and sort of what looks to be the central plot of this series, of this season of the series. And this has me puzzled, and maybe you guys can help me out in the comments with this. So the armorer tells Mando, and they actually the quote is in this trailer as well. So they're reiterating this idea that Mando is no longer a Mandalorian because he took his helmet off. Okay. Yet Bo-Katan believes she has rights to the throne of Mandalore. But she takes her helmet off all the time. And in fact, in this trailer, she's not wearing it more than she's wearing it. That's kind of strange, right? And her band of other Mandos, like her group, also always has their helmets off in season 2 of Mando. So is the helmet wearing a thing or isn't it? So in the trailer, it's a thing, but it's not a thing. So what is this? Does it matter or doesn't it? And they haven't really clearly stated this and made this make any sense. It's kind of silly. If that's such a huge deal, then it's a huge deal for Mandalorians, and a bunch of Mandalorians don't think it's a big deal, but another Mandalorian does, and calls out and says that Mando's not a Mandalorian. It just is convoluted. So they're making it an issue, but not making it an issue, but making it an issue. Which is it? I don't get it. And it looks like Mando now has a band of people, other Mandalorians, to help stand up against Bo-Katan, and I would imagine, that's their plot devices, right? So he has his group, she has her group, and they have conflict. And Bo-Katan says Mando's cult has fractured their people. So I don't know if that means he poached a couple of her guys or something, but fractured what? He offered the Darksaber to you freely. You didn't want to take it because you have to fight him, so maybe just go fight him then, and then everyone will be unified under either you or him. It just feels like they're going to create a whole bunch of episodes centered around this conflict when, in Mandalore fashion, the conflict should be finished immediately. They should fight and get it over with. So I guess you wouldn't have a show in that case. You'd have a 15-minute fight scene, and that's the entirety of the entire season. So it seems like a weak plot device to me to create a whole season story around. If that is the case, if that is the bulk of the story of this season, which this trailer definitely suggests it is, it just seems kind of a weak plot point, and I'm not really seeing how they're going to make that interesting story-wise. The story of Mandalorian itself, the last 2 seasons, hasn't exactly been deep. I liked it at first when it was all about bounty hunting and stuff like that. That's what he is, and I liked that. And now with the Boba Fett show, and he's completely changed away from that and changed totally as a character. And now they're doing this, and these are not deep stories to me. They're kind of weak, and they remind me a lot of why I'm not a huge fan of the Clone Wars. I'm not going to sit here and say the Clone Wars is a terrible show, but I just felt a lot of the episodes were boring that I watched, and I had a really hard time getting through what I did watch of the Clone Wars, because the plot is it already. It's just not deep, really. They added some depth as they went, and towards the end it did have that, but there was just a lot of just sort of bland conflict, same old. it just didn't do it for me. Maybe it did it for you, whatever. This seems like a very similar thing, and we know who's behind these shows and a lot of the new Star Wars stuff, and it just seems like the depth of appeal story wise just isn't going to be there. And I hope I'm wrong about that, and maybe it will be. I'm not a huge fan of Mandalorian overall. It's okay. It creates problems though, continuity issues. I can't stand how powerful Grogu is. I can't stand that they're doing superhero Jedi stuff now, where they don't train, they don't do anything, and they're able to do these ridiculously powerful things. The prequels took it too far as well, but now they've just gone into complete left field with that, and it's not good. I heard Grogu's gonna have a mech suit. That's just, if they do that, I mean, pack it in, folks. But anyway, I'm trying not to be too negative because I know everybody loves the show, but there's a lot of problems with the show, and I think this next season may end up being pretty anticlimactic story-wise, although it will, of course, have incredible visuals, and the little space battle scene that they showed just a glimpse of looked amazing. So I guess we'll see. Thanks for watching. Like I said, like and subscribe. Have a good day.